talking color. So in your groups, during the design phase of the project, you should have decided on a color scheme or color swatches for your project. And so since you're all going to be working on different files, it's important that you all are using the same colors in your files so that it looks like one professional level board game when you're done. To do that, you're all going to have to set up the same color palette. So initially, you need to go to the Swatches tab up here on the right. Now I've turned mine off on purpose, so in case it doesn't show up there, you have to go to View, Studio, and then turn it on. And it'll show up here like a floating window, and if you just drag it up here, the window will latch onto these other windows up here. And now what you're going to do is you're going to create a document palette. So this is basically like a color palette that is specific for this document that you're making. And now you get to click up here on the little hamburger again, and you're going to go rename palette, and you can call this Board Games for Good Colors or something like that. Okay, you can decide what you want to call it. So now we need to add colors to this. So there's a number of different ways you can do it, but initially you're going to have to go and find the colors that you want. So you might have already found a palette at a website like this one, colorhunt.com. So somehow you need to have your colors for your color palette in an image format. So I'm going to download this as an image. You might have put them in a Google slide or something like that. Now it's worth mentioning, these are all red, green, blue RGB images which are meant for showing up on a computer, and when we print RGB it always comes out looking duller. So you should have set up your Affinity document, if you're paying attention, as a CMYK color scheme. That's a cyan, magenta, yellow, and key or black. Those are the colors that printers use. So we want to be, as much as possible, using those colors. So if you can find a CMYK color palette to add that's got the colors you want, then that would be the best. If not, go ahead with the RGB and we'll see how it goes. Okay. I've got this set to a CMYK file already. So one way that I can do this is I can go File, I can go Open, and actually I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go Place, because I'm just going to place this right into my document. Okay, I can always turn it off later. And now what I can do is I can go over here to my color picker, and if I click and hold it and I drag it over this, it's going to change this color here to the color on the screen. And now if I go over here to my palette and I click plus, it's going to add that to my palette. So I'm going to go get my color picker and I'm going to add the next color here. I'm just going to make sure that changes that, and I'm going to click on there, and then I can do the same like this. So as long as you can get the colors you want, so as a team you need to decide on the colors and then get them in. If you put them all in a Google slide deck and download that as an image, then you can all place that in your documents, or you can just, if you've already got it downloaded from a website, you can do it like that. So that's one way that you can set up your color palettes. Okay. Now the other way is kind of cool. You can also click on here and you can go Create Palette from Image. Then you can go select your image, and it will automatically create the palette for me, okay, using those images. So it doesn't really matter which way you do it, but you need to, as a team, before you start adding much color to your designs, decide on what are going to be the common colors and how are they going to be used in your designs, and set up a color palette. So now if I want to go over here, I can now set that green to the color green from my color palette, okay? And then I can continue to add colors.